So what will I do right now when it comes to Algorand? Nothing I say is financial advice, but I'm really not concerned, and I'll explain why later, but personally, I'm still going to be doing what I've been doing throughout this entire time. I'm going to be dollar cost averaging once a month, not any more than that, not any less than that either. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, the reason why ultimately I'm still not concerned when it comes to Algorand is because Algo having this pullback right here. It's not like it's a localized event where it's only Algorand, right? I mean, a bunch of projects out there are having a pullback. Let's take a look at Algorand's somewhat close competitors. Let's take a look at like VeChain, its primary native token called VET, that's having a pullback. Take a look at Avalanche. Take a look at, for instance, something like, even in the case of Cardano, right? And its native token called ADA. And of course, there's many other examples, but I'm just saying, it's not only just Algorand. So what happened? Randomly, Algorand became bad fundamentally? I don't think that is the case to me. I think it's just the market sentiment not doing the best. But also, I don't want to exit when things are like this low personally for me. I mean, hypothetically, people like to tell me, oh, what happens if it goes lower? Hypothetically, maybe because I can't control this, who knows? But then at the same time, if I exit right now, I don't want to just like lock in all of those downward movements like that and just leave. Now I get it, Algo. It's around 50 times lower than $5 actually currently as we speak, which, is not really such a good thing. Some people like to tell me, but because I am looking to dollar cost average, if I see something that I like hypothetically go low, it's not going to be a concern for me because I am looking to dollar cost average. Now, if I'm looking to exit, I'd be very concerned, but that's not what I'm looking to do. The thing is this as well. The market cap currently is around 4 times lower, right? Again, I repeat, around 4 times lower than where it was around a year ago. Slightly over a year ago, but I'm saying it was back in January of 2025. Around 4 times lower. So if the sentiment just returned to that and the market cap of ALGO becomes nearly 4 billion again, like that was without an altcoin season. The thing is this, Bitcoin as of right now, despite the pullback, is not around 4 times lower than any point it's ever reached ever in history. It just simply hasn't happened. But something like ALGO is, right? This is my perspective. Now, there's a bunch of other projects out there that have a way bigger pullback, but I'm just saying, Algorand has this vibe where, sure, it's having a pullback, but we have to think about this sometimes. ALGO, it's still ranked 62nd in the world in terms of market cap within this space. So it's still a top 100 project. If people like to tell me, oh, the 800th ranked project or the 900th ranked project is going to survive for whatever reason, and maybe it could, who knows? But if it does, suddenly a top 62 project isn't? I just sometimes have a hard time believing in that. But yeah, this is my mindset. Also, when it comes to Algorand, it's carbon neutral. I think it's one of the most popular layer one blockchains out there. And also, I think in terms of fundamentals, it doesn't really lose out, right? I mean, if I take a look at its scalability, also I take a look at the speed of it, it's not like it's far worse than Cardano or something like that, or the BNB chain. I don't have that feeling. Like, sure, it's just slight differences here and there, but still, it's pretty cool in terms of the fundamentals and how it's not so bad, I feel like, compared to the others. However, also, people ignore oftentimes that Algorand does have an aspect of ISO 20022, which, it's not often really considered because people usually associate that vibe, right, of ISO 20022 with like Stellar or something, or like, XDC, or those type of projects that are really focused on global trade and finance. So it's not really expected when it comes to Algorand, but it does have an aspect of that, though. That's the thing. So this is why ultimately, when I take a look at kind of the complete sort of vibe overall, I just don't want to give up. And I'm still going to be doing what I've been doing throughout this entire time. Again, just dollar cost averaging once a month. But this is personally what I'm doing. And at $5, actually, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around 44 billion, so still around 50% less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap back in 2021. But besides that point as well, that market cap right there, around 44 billion, is actually quite similar to what Shiba Inu reached in terms of market cap at one point back in 2021. So sometimes I like to ask myself, what's more revolutionary, Algorand or Shiba Inu? I mean, come on, right? Shiba Inu Yeah, I just don't think so. People like to tell me, well, in 2021 there was less competitors, and right now there's way too many competitors. But also, I think something else balances it out, right? We take a look at how back in 2021 there was around 300 million owners at the peak of that cycle, and however now there's over 600 million. Not to mention, yes, there is more projects right now, but how many more amazing layer one blockchains really appeared ever since then? I don't feel like that many. Like the core group of famous layer one blockchains like Cardano, Solana, and all this, they were still popular back then, but the core group of them more or less stayed the same right now. So, yes, there's more competitors. A lot of them are memes, but what's really going to be able to stand toe to toe with something like an Algorand? I feel like the core group of the 2021 projects that existed back then, they're still kind of more or less that are able to compete toe to toe with Algorand. So yes, there's more competitors overall, but are they really even competing directly against Algorand? In a lot of cases, I would say probably not. So yeah, I just don't want to give up. Personally, in my situation, will I be able to know exactly when there could be an altcoin season? No. However, I'm going to be waiting just in case, in my perspective. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but this is just my mindset. So I'm going to still be waiting, holding, and that's pretty much about it. And I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. And I'll see y'all on the next video. It's Mali the Captain.